got one more question, which is our third question, and then both gentlemen can just chip into this particular question in no particular order. If a rental property, the question says, has an inverter, and the tenants were told that it gives power to the home for 4 hours at a time when there is a power outage, right? And if those batteries in the inverter are now dead and only 5 minutes of power is given, is the landlord legally required to replace those batteries and keep the system working as it was when the lease was signed, or does it become the tenant's responsibility to replace the batteries? Gentlemen.
Bruno, you want to have a go?
Yeah, cool. So maybe just start off with, I think the terms of the contract are going to be paramount here. Remember, you lease a property and the use of the property and certain services in relation to the property. Now, this has always been a debate in our law. What is incidental to occupation? What isn't incidental? What's a service that should be included in the rent? What service isn't included in the rent? So that's already number one, is what are you leasing, and does it include use and enjoyment of this, right? And a specific preset use and enjoyment. So you were told it's 4 hours, you rented the property knowing that it was going to be 4 hours of use and enjoyment, and that's the rent that you paid for, and now it's less, right? That's the first question. Second question comes into maintenance and repairs. Is a person who is responsible for actually maintaining. So for example, my office space here, when I rented it out, the air cons, yes, they provide air cons. The air cons are there, and they give it to me in a certain condition. But it's up to me to replace the air filters, maintain them, and repair them in case anything happens to them. So I've got the air cons, the service is there, but it's my responsibility. So the terms of the contract will determine whose responsibility it is. So for example, things like generators and inverters, is it in the contract, and does it form part of the fixtures inside? Is it something that's supplied generally to the outside of the property and the contract is silent on the tenant going outside of the property and repairing? So normally the landlord is responsible for the infrastructure and the tenant is responsible for the inside. So you may find that if this is something general to the property, that you could say that the expectation is that landlord repair it. But then also in the contract, you need to see if anything there about supplying power during load shedding applies.
Right. So yeah, thank you very much there, Bruno. And that does bring us to the end of today's episode, or 2 episodes, 3 answers actually. So thank you very much for everybody for joining us, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.